G'day guys and welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video we'll be going to my round 16 tips and predictions for the AFL season. Of course we're 9 more rounds into the AFL season, so it is getting a bit interesting. So if you want to hop on board, like and subscribe to the channel because you'll be in for some banger content. Subscribe to the channel because many of you are not, so subscribe and we'll get straight into this video. So now we'll be reviewing the round we had of tipping. Of course, it wasn't the best round of tipping, if I'm going to be fair, because I got a 3 out of 6, which is terrible. 50% of my tips was correct. So, to be honest, I'm not happy with it. But I tipped Carlton to start off the week by 27 points. They got the job done. The Carlton Blues did. The MCG, they just came to play. Really going to Geelong Cats, they just ran away with it in the last quarter. They were just smashing them. And, I was like 36 points off. But, yeah, it was a good tip. I think I'm proud of that. Then I tipped Port against Brisbane, which is a bit concerned for Ken Hinkley, as, of course, at the start of the season, he has said they will be, like, in the top of the table, and they're, like, really falling, and losing their last 3 games at home is not good. So, and also losing this game by 79 points is pretty brutal. So, pretty disappointed if you're Ken Hinkley, and I got that tip wrong. And yeah, so now the Giants game against Sydney, the Sydney Derby clash, the New South Wales Derby clash. Yeah, this one was at NG Stadium. Sydney got the job done by 27, got that tip wrong. But I think pretty disappointed in that. But yeah, then Melbourne versus North Melbourne. Melbourne, they got off to a close win against North Melbourne, and they just kept knocking Melbourne on the door, didn't they, North Melbourne? They just did so well. They even had a shot at winning the game, which is really good. I think North should be really pleased, pleased with how they lost that game. Like, the last 2 games they've came under 5 points and lost. They should be really proud of that. They're big improvement, and I think they're a really improving side. Now, Essendon versus West Coast, I feel like the umpires were robbing West Coast, to be honest. The Bombers won by 30, but I got that tip correct. I feel like the umpires were kind of robbing West Coast. And then Gold Coast versus Freo, got that tip incorrect. So it was here and there around the tipping. Some tips good, some tips wrong, but I didn't get it upset correct this round, which I'm pretty disappointed about. So yeah, we'll just get into this week's tips, and yeah. The Brisbane Lions and the Melbourne Demons to kick off round 16 at the Gabba, Friday night footy, 28th of June, 7:40pm. This is going to be a good contest. Melbourne coming off a really close win against the North Melbourne Kangaroos, and also the Brisbane Lions. They can come to play in these contests. I think they came off a bye, I'm not really sure. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good contest. I feel like it's going to be rather close. But realistically, at the Gabba, the Brisbane Lions are really good. But yeah, have the likes of Lachie Neale and many other players out there. Melbourne, I feel like they might look a bit slackish, but I feel like there'll be lots of lead changes in this game. And the Brisbane Lions get the job done at the Gabba by 4 points. Now the Doggies taking on the North Melbourne Kangaroos on Saturday, 29th of June, 1:45pm at Marvel Stadium. North Melbourne been in a couple of close contests lately. One against the Melbourne Demons and then one against the Collingwood Magpies, and they've both been under 4 points. So, yeah, they just are left in heartbreak both matches, and I feel like, is this the game where North Melbourne can pick up a win and have a good chance and a good shot and winning this game? And I think North will win by a good 17 points and shock the league. Now the Swannies taking on the Freo Dockers at their CG Saturday, 29th of June, 1:45pm. I feel like Sydney are just too strong. Won a lot of games now, 52 points on the table, just number 1 on the ladder. will be too strong for Freo, even though they're coming off a win against the Gold Coast Suns because it's at their home turf. I feel like there's no way Freo can pull off an upset, can they? I don't think so. So I'm going to back in the Sydney Swans to get this done by 46 points. Sorry, Sydney fans. Now the Collingwood Magpies taking on the Gold Coast Suns on the Saturday, 29th of June, 4:35 p.m. at People's First Stadium. It's just going to be one of those contests that looks a bit boring, but it's going to turn out to be a cracker. The Sydney Swans versus Gold Coast is just going to be a great game, I feel. But Collingwood are just going to be the stronger team, I feel, in this one, even though Gold Coast look like they can pull off a fight. And I think the Collingwood Magpies will win it by 27 points. Now the Adelaide Crows taking on the Giants on the Saturday, 29th of June, 7:30 p.m. at the Adelaide Oval. The Giants coming off a loss in the Sydney Derby against the Sydney Swans. The Crows, they can come to play at the Adelaide Oval as it's their home turf. I feel like Adelaide Crows might be the better side in this one because it's in Adelaide Oval. So, yeah, I feel like Adelaide might have the upper hand and they'll get the job done by a good 64 points and shock the crowd. Now the Cats taking on the Essendon Bombers at the MCG Saturday, 29th of June, 7:30 p.m. at the MCG, which will be a blockbuster of a clash, as we all know. These two sides come up and give a good fight. The Bombers and the Cats. A good game at the MCG. Catters, they can come to play in this game. As the Bombers, I feel like they could lose against the Geelong Cats. I had that feeling, but I feel like they can upset them at the same time. But I think the Catters will get the job done by 11 points and win the game at the MCG. Now the Saints taking on the Port Adelaide Power at Marvel Stadium. This is going to be a bloody good contest, I think. 1:10 p.m. at Marvel Stadium. It's going to be a good contest, I feel. Both teams can be rather in it, but I feel like the St Kilda Saints might have the upper hand as is their Marvel at their home turf, and Ken Hinkley has lost their last 3 games at home, so I haven't been in the best form. The Port Adelaide Power losing by 70-something points, which is very concerning, and I think the Saints will get on top of them by 43 points. Now, of course, this is the game that always starts off at round 1, but we're also seeing this the second time, but in round 16, which is really lovely to see the Richmond Tigers and the Carlton Blues play each other at the MCG Sunday, 30th of June, 3:20 p.m. It's going to be a blockbuster of a clash. I think the Blues have a good will probably win this game as the Richmond Tigers haven't been in really good form, and the Carlton Blues are just in intriguing form, second on the ladder. And I think the Blues will get on top of them by around 7 points. So, yeah. Now the Red Hot Form Hawkers taking on the West Coast Eagles at Optus Stadium, 4:40 p.m. on the Sunday. Optus Stadium is going to be a good clash. Of course, both of these teams are... West Coast got pretty much robbed against the Bombers, and the Hawthorn Hawks coming off a bye, which was a big rest for the Hawthorn Hawks. I think the bye came at the wrong time, but I think the Hawks are in red hot form. But everything they've been winning by close margins, and I think they get the job done by 7. Like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.